Miss Cameron, this is your claim for $4,000. And I guess it's for ghosts that were supposed to be purchased. Is there a written agreement?
No, there's
So,
not.
oh, ma'am, honestly, let's not start right in, okay? Let me just ask her, and then I'll give you a chance to respond, okay? Ms. Albertson? Okay. So, Ms. Cameron, was there a written lease agreement?
So if you look, I have some evidence. There was not.
Just answer. No, hold on. Just answer my questions for me. Was there a written agreement?
She agreed to purchase them via Facebook. It was not a handwritten agreement.
Do you have something in print that I can take a look at?
Yes, I do. If you look at page 5 and look at page 8, she says that she can make payments to her but won't have a ton extra.
So this isn't a written agreement. This is just you two of you talking. That's what this is, right?
I suppose, yes.
Okay. So these are with regard to some goats.
Correct.
Okay, tell me how many goats total first. How many goats were being purchased?
There were 7 because we co-owned 2 of them.
7 goats being purchased though, and then you had 2 other ones. Is that what you're telling me?
7 total with 2 of them being co-owned. So 5 total, 2 were co-owned.
Okay, so we got 5 goats that were being purchased. How much were the goats being purchased for?
I was selling them to her for the cost that I purchased them for. I purchased them for a total of $4,000.
For all 5 goats?
For all of them, yes, correct.
And did you say, hey, listen, I've got 5 goats. It's gonna be a total of $4,000.
She knew how much we.
No, did you say I've got 5 goats for sale and I'm asking $4,000 for all of them?
Trevor Cuba confirmed that she was purchasing them from me from the cost.
No, I'm asking you first.
Okay.
Was there? Did you say I've got 5 goats for sale, and I'm asking $4,000 for? Yes or no? It's real easy.
It's a little more complicated than that. So not in that many words. We were not communicating directly at the time. I lived with her. She knew the goats.
So how much? You got to give me some specific amount that you asked for the price of the goats. What was that price for 5 goats?
So what happened is I sent Trevor the receipts for the goats that I had purchased, and then he sent them to her, and then she texted that she could make payments.
Okay, so how much was the receipt? What was the total for that receipt?
So they were separate goat purchases. The first one was for $550. For the
$550 for one goat. Well, hold on, $550 for. No, I don't want to talk about the co-owned. I'm talking about just the 5 that are being sold.
She was agreeing to purchase my co-ownment off of me.
I'm not talking about the co-owned right now. I'm talking about the 5 independent, the other 5.
Other ones. So Lance was 500. Krim was 600. And then I purchased the other ones for a total of $2,350.
So Lance was 500.
Correct.
And what was the other one? What's the name of the other one? Krim?
Creme brulee was 600.
Oh, Krim.
Creme
brulee was how much?
600.
Okay.
And then the remaining ones, Big Man, Dot, Flower, Mounds, and Ripley, I purchased for a total of $2,350.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So we got Big Man. What was the other one?
Dot.
Okay.
Flower.
Flower.
Mounds.
Mounds. Mounds.
Yes, like the candy.
Okay.
And Ripley. Were purchased for a total of $2,350.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them for how much?
$2,350.
But some of these, all I wanted were the 5 that you were selling outright.
What I was selling to her outright was my half of the co-owned and all of my goats that I owned to her. So it was, I might have miscounted, 1, 2, 3. So it was 7, and discluding the co-owned goats.
Okay, so which ones were co-owned?
That was Snowflake, Obsidian, and Snow
These are
Cat.
other, well, we got a bunch of them. So these are other ones?
Yes, when we purchased them from the breeder, we each paid $550.
Okay, so let's not talk about the co-owned ones because those are completely separate now from these other ones. So I got Lance, Crimble, Big Man, Dot, Flower, Mounds, and Ripley.
Correct.
And that was Big Man, Dot, Flower, Mounds, and Ripley. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 of them for 2,350.
Correct.
I got one of them, Crimble for 600 and Lance for 500. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Let's see. So those ones are all being sold for $3,450, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you told her in no uncertain terms, this part of the deal is you're getting these goats for $3,450.
So at that time, I was not in direct contact with her. Mostly that was Trevor talking to her
Well, why weren't you doing it? Your goats.
because we were not on speaking terms at the time. She was evicting me from her house.
So we're getting back to what paperwork do you have that says I'm selling these goats for 3,450?
I have me sending on page 3 all of the receipts to Trevor, who then sent them to Ashley.
What is and the problem is going to be what's Trevor got to do with any of this right now? It's you and Albertson that are getting into this relationship of selling goats.
Correct. So we were again not on speaking terms, and Trevor was a mutual friend who we were relying to mediate with us at the time.
So what kind of receipt? Who's Lance, Crimble, Big Man, Dot, Flower, Mounds, Replay, or Ripley?
Mhm.
Were those turned over to Miss Albertson?
Yes. They were already on her property.
So you gave her all those, they were given to her, right? For 3,450,
Correct.
right? How much money did you get?
I have received nothing from her.
So what was the reason for not getting anything?
Because she confirmed that she wouldn't be able to pay right away, but she would be able to make payments once tax season hit. And then she later confirmed she would make payments.
So when did you actually sell these to her?
I considered the sale the day she agreed to take them. I was moving to a location where I would not be able to take them with me. It was a
Okay,
residential
so
area.
what date was that?
February 8th and 10th. February 8th was when she initially agreed, and 10th she reconfirmed.
February 8th of what year? 25?
Sorry, that would be 2022.
Oh, February 8th of 2022?
Yes, Your Honor.
February 8th, 2022. That's when she had taken possession of them, right?
Yes, and again, they were on her property and they just never left her property.
Okay, well, she was given possession on that date. You lost control on that date is what you're telling me.
Yes.
So when did you get your first payment for the goats?
I have never received any money for them.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, so right now we don't have a contract. They're your goats right now, I guess. Miss Albertson, do you have these goats? Lance,
No, they were
Crimble, Big
euthanized.
Man?
They were euthanized
They
in
were
November of
euthanized?
23. Yes, because they were diseased.
All of them?
Yes, all of them. They had an uncurable disease called Johne's or CL.
Lance,
vet
let me make sure,
statement
hold on. Let me just make sure I got the right ones. We're talking about Lance, correct?
The whole herd was euthanized, yes.
Tell me which ones. How about Lance?
Every one of them.
Ma'am, you're
Lance
not
was
listening to my
euthanized, yes.
question.
Yes,
What
Lance was
about creme
euthanized.
brulee?
Krem actually died before that from the disease.
Okay, so Grim died before. Lance euthanized.
Yep.
How about Big Man?
Big Man died from the disease before.
Died. Dot. What about Dot?
Dot also died before.
Died. Okay. What about Flower?
Flower was euthanized.
Youth. Okay. Mounds.
Mounds was euthanized.
And then Ripley
Ripley died.
died. The ones that you mentioned died, did they all die about the same time period or how?
No, so what with this disease, it like lives in the soil and they're infected with it and it can come out at any time. So essentially my yard was infected with it and there was nothing you can do. You can't sell them really unless you test before you sell them, but they were all showing signs that the herd was so infected that the veterinarian recommended euthanasia.
Okay, who
And I
was
have a
your vet?
veterinary. I
Yeah,
have
who's
a
your vet?
veterinary statement in my packet, Dr. Hall, and then I contacted MSU for more information on it.
Dr. Hall. And I think I know where's Dr. Hall practice?
She practices right. She was at Riverside. That's where I worked with her, and then she moved to what would she move to? It's the one right in Mount Morris there on the corner.
Okay.
I forget what practices
If I
now.
can think of the name. Okay, so but she's the one. Yeah, I know she's local vet at any rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I work at Riverside in Flushing, so.
Okay. So from testimony right now, you had control of all these goats, is that right?
I did have control of them as they were left on my property.
Okay, and that was gonna be my next question. So you got control of them. Was there a sale to you regarding
There was
these
no
goats?
official sale made. I did not sign anything, and I only received one screenshot totaling $1,250 from Trevor.
What was
And
1250 for what?
it's just from East Side Fabrication, and it has some goat pictures. I'm not sure what all that all means.
What
It has like little goat
in-
emojis. I'm not sure for what goats or what that entails. That's the only one I received from
Okay.
him.
You just got, was it a receipt or something? Is it around here? Have I got a copy of that?
You do
I
have
don't
a
have
copy of that.
What?
You do have a copy of that. That would be under Eastside Fabrication for my evidence. That's going to be A19.
I'm sorry, what page? 19?
A19, correct. And probably A20.
Here it is, page 20, yeah. Okay, so Miss Albertson, was that the first time you saw this page? It says Eastside Fabrication, $1,100, money sent. Do you know what that means? August 17th?
The only thing I have is an October 17th was 425.
Yeah.
Then another one with 4 goat emojis, and that's 825. That's all I have received.
Okay, you don't have the one on my page. It shows one above that. It says Eastside Fabrication,
No, I don't have
August
that.
17th for 1,100.
I don't have that.
Do you have anything on there that says, other than that one block you're just telling me, Eastside Fabrication, and mine says E dot 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 425. It says one go. I guess that means one go. Did you have any
One goat
conversation?
emoji.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure on that.
I can
Is
get
the
some
one just?
clarification if you'd like.
Well, let me ask her first because she's the one that's receiving this. So, Miss Albertson, how did this mean anything to you? These Two
He
numbers?
sent me just
Four-
this one screenshot, and that's it. I have no other screenshots
Do you have
that
anything
were
with your
supposedly
signature on
sent
it?
to me. Huh?
Signature on it? Anything?
No, there's nothing on there. It's just like a picture of a computer monitor.
Does this mean anything to you that this
I never
425
officially
fund?
agreed on anything. There's nothing signed on paper. There was no official amount given to me.
Did you ever send a letter to her or tell her, listen, you got these gates on my property, you need to get them off?
I did not, because I figured once she denied picking them up, then I just wouldn't. I'd just be done and call it done, because there was damages left on my property from when she left, and I was just calling it a wash.
Okay, so I guess go back. I'm kind of jumping, but on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 ghosts that she said are have passed away somehow or another, what either
Yes.
died or euthanized. Give me some time frame on, I guess.
So the last of my herd and hers were euthanized in November of 23.
November of 23. How many? Maybe you've got it there. Can you tell me which ones died at certain times on these ones?
I did not keep track of all of them, unfortunately. It just didn't
How do
really
you,
occur to me to
when you
keep
tell
track
me,
of it at the time.
you're giving me pretty specific things, like Lance, you said euthanized. How do you know that then? How do you remember that?
Well, I remember which ones I euthanized,
Oh,
but I don't remember like the
Like-
dates when they died.
were the ones that were euthanized on various dates, separate dates?
No, they were all of them were euthanized, and then they were cremated.
Can you give me a roundabout time frame? Some kind of year?
It was in November.
Let's start with November
It was the end of
of
November.
23.
In 2023.
And the ones that you had died, was that over what kind of a time period was that? They're all before the euthanizations, right?
Yeah, it was just kind of scattered out throughout, because it's just a slow, incurable disease. It's pretty horrible. They like essentially starve to death, and there's nothing you can do.
So why didn't you euthanize those ones?
Because I tried treating them with like a lot of things, but I mean, that's just how I am. I try to treat them, but it clearly was not ever going to get better. Like I had
Okay.
one in my living room for a month.
Okay. And these ones that I don't want to say naturally died, but died, that was all before this November of 2023?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So the end, they were all gone by November of 2023.
Yes.
Okay. Did you pay anything at all to Miss Cameron
I did not.
for Cameron?
Yes.
How do we get a sale on any of these?
So what happened is when she asked me to find somewhere else to leave, at that point, we were hardly speaking to each other.
Okay.
I asked Trevor to kind of help me work with her to find places for them to be. I was going to be moving somewhere that would not have places to host farm animals. If you look at the Facebook messages on page 3, it's me talking to Trevor saying how much I paid for them, and I sent him all my receipts. All those little goat emoji ones were me.
So first of all, before I let you go, when did you, I guess, move from the property then? When was that?
End of February of that same year,
End of February of what year?
2022.
So you left February 2022 by Miss Albertson asked you to leave? Is that what happened?
Correct.
Okay.
Earlier in that month, probably around the 8th, she's asked me to move out. I initiated contact with Trevor. I mentioned the goats. He started mediating the price of the goats. I started looking for somewhere to live. And then I moved out end of that month. I did leave my bees and my motorcycle at the premise. I couldn't move the bees because of winter weather, and the motorcycle I couldn't get to. I later picked them up in, I believe, March or May of that same year. So her husband contacted me.
2022.
Correct.
So bees and motorcycle were moved out about when in
It was-
2022?
It was for May 11th. She got the beehives, and end of May for the motorcycle.
Okay, you say spring at some point. Does that sound good? Spring of 2020, okay. Okay. So with the goats, when you said Trevor started mediating, how does that even come into play? How does that happen?
He was a mutual friend who knew us both. So because of the situation with moving out, I didn't want to get into an arguing match with Ashley or to have anything said that would be negative. So I was asking Trevor to help me first off move and find a place, but I also needed help getting the goats purchased or getting her to take the goats. And that's where he stepped in and started talking to her. And that's where we have the text messages, the Facebook messages between him and her, where she says, I can do payments, that's fine. Or which I considered her agreeing to purchase the goats for what I had initially purchased the goats for. There were a few brief moments of us talking directly, but even with my move-in, she didn't want to get anything in writing. She didn't want to have like leasing in writing. I've not been able to get anything in an actual lease agreement with a physical signature. I considered text messages and verbals to be our main communication and her agreeing to purchase the goats, which is why I left them behind, because at that time, in my mind, they were her property and I was not going to be taking them with me. I actually moved to like a downtown area where we barely even had a yard.
So this is about, looks like it's over a year that she's got the goats. Is that right?
It was. And there were several times that same year in 2022, around October, November, where she's like, we should meet up. We should kind of clear the air. For various reasons, she wasn't able to. And, February, I reached out again, February 2023, is like, hey, like, are you free? And she said, I said, it's been a while since our event. I know we wanted to get things sorted out. I was hoping we could set up a time. And she said, I'm unfortunately crazy busy. So then again in April, I reached back out. I said, hi, I hope this is a better time for you because we really needed to talk about this. It's been over a year and I need to know what the timeline is for when you agreed to pay me for the goats when I moved out. And then she said, you can try and sell them. I don't want them and no one will buy them. 3 died last year, which was the first I had heard that any had passed. She had not communicated with me outside of saying, hey, we should meet up, and then not being able to meet up. She had not mentioned.
And when was that? When was that conversation?
This conversation was 4/29/23. I had not heard that any of them had passed. She had never once asked me to pick them up. And I assumed.
Okay, so on that time period, though, we've got a whole year that's gone by. She's got these goats. There's no money passed between the two of you. Right now, I've got no agreement between either one of you. I get information. No, hold on. She's saying I may take them for something. Is what you're telling me. Well, I can do something. Those aren't agreements. Those are maybe negotiation at best.
So
then in that same text message, I told her to come.
Hold on, Miss Albertson, hold on.
Sorry.
Let me in. Go ahead, Miss Cameron.
I'm sorry. So in my mind, which is I can do payments, that's fine. I have a second on call. So on February 10th, 2022, the goal isn't for her to keep any of them, is what Trevor sent to her. Which brings me, do you want to buy the rest of the goats for the same price Libby spent on them, or should she find another buyer? He said, I know you wouldn't have the funds until after taxes, and it would be a payment over time thing, but if you want them, then it would be easiest for everyone, I think. She says, I can do payments, that's fine, which in my mind was an agreement to those specific terms. It wasn't signed.
And part of that, he's saying, and I can listen to him, but even what you're telling me there, he's saying again, this is getting too convoluted, but she's saying, should she try to sell them? That's what you're telling me Trevor is telling you. Should she try to sell them?
Trevor was asking Ashley if I should try to sell the goats to somebody else, and she never said yes. She said, I can do payments, that is fine. She agreed to purchasing them, in my mind, in that instance. When he says...
But purchasing for no figure for anything, there's no agreement. I still don't see how you're getting an agreement.
I'm getting it from, did you want to buy the rest of the goats for the same price Libby spent on them, or should she find another buyer? And then Ashley says, I can do payments, that's fine. That's to me where I was getting the agreement that she would purchase the goats. I don't know if Trevor, and I can't recall, and he can maybe shed a little more light, if he spoke to her directly and over the phone or anything like that. But
All right, let's get him on and then, because we're gonna be going round and round with the same thing, I think. Where's he at? Let's get him on here. Trevor,
Hello.
all right. Trevor, can you get on video? You were on there a minute ago. Can you get on or not?
I should be able to. Oh, there is the button. I found. Oh, how are you doing, Judge?
Is it Trevor? Is it Cuba or what?
Yep, just like the country. Never been, but
Cuba?
named after it.
Okay, all right. And you're getting in the middle of both of these, so let's. Hopefully, I'm not putting you too badly in there. You understand you're under oath.
Absolutely. I've been in the beginning.
And it
Well, that's
sounds like was there, just for my sake, and I know, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but was there any money transferred from one of them to the other one between for these goats? Anything like that?
No.
Okay. I know there's a lot of talk. Did Miss Albertson at any time when you're doing this negotiating say, I'm buying them for this amount of money or anything like that?
She never explicitly said, yes, I agree to buy these goats for this amount of money, and there's an itemized list.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing ever that cut and dry. That did not happen.
Yeah.
But I will back up with what Cameron said. It was my understanding in the Facebook thing. I just specifically, again, this is like, what, 2023? So I know there's some phone conversations as well. So my memory is fuzzy. So I'm not trying to bring out anything beyond what chat record of. But I do recall a phone conversation, and I was also under the impression, and we asked specifically, should Libby, because this is in the middle of, like, she's also trying to find a house to live and make other moving arrangements, and the question of the goats keeps coming up, and it's does Ashley want to buy her out, or should Libby look for a new buyer? And the reason that, as Libby were talking about, she never kind of pursued it. We're kind of waiting until February, like tax season, until we got word about there. By then, they were cordially communicating to each other, and that's when they had their own. Libby said her own conversation there. So, but as of, I agree. As of, I think it was, did Miss Albertson ever say explicitly with a signed receipt and a contract, this is what I want, this is what we're going to have? Was money exchanged? No. But I do believe it was a verbal agreement. I don't know what kind of law that carries. But yeah, the entire situation, who owns the goats, who would own the offspring of the goats, who would settle disputes of the co-owned goats, if an agreement, if someone's going to buy out, who gets what percent, who has, because there's also the roommate agreement, who is going to be working on the house, the goats, and the chores around the farm, who's going to be supplying food and shelter and medical supplies to the goats. None of this was agreed by either party, and frankly, would have solved the issue.
Okay. Was it ever agreed that you'd be buying the goats? I'm teasing you.
I said I would be interested in buying them, but I was never given a price or signed anything.
No, Miss Albertson, I'm teasing Mr. Cuba. He's getting in the middle of both of you here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
trying to make him feel a little bit better, because I get the feeling that he's kind of friends with both of you, or was. Or
he is. Yes, he's a good friend.
Hopefully still is. Okay. Mr. Cuba, just a little piece of advice. Sometimes this is where you get into more trouble than ever. It's the problem. You're trying to help everybody. Okay. Miss Cameron, maybe you could, if you got questions for him that'll help clear things up. Because I think he's being honestly upfront. I do.
He is. I do believe he's being upfront. And like I said, there were two places in messages between Trevor and Ashley where he said, do you want to buy her half of the goats? I can't imagine we'll be in a new place. That was February 8th, 2022. And she says, I can make payments to her, but I won't have a ton extra for a while since taxes are due very soon. That's page 5. Again, that same day, actually, sorry, on 2/10/22, do you want to buy the rest of goats for the same price she spent on them, or should she find another? I can do payments, that's fine. Again, it was not a signed, explicit, detailed contract, which I've definitely learned from. But that to me was a layman's agreement of the price I purchased the goats for. Yes, I will take them. I can do payments. There was at no point to say, no, I want to negotiate the price. No, I don't want these goats. No, you need to pick up the goats. I was never notified, hey, you've left your goats here. What are you going to do with them? In this whole year before I actually said, hey, when are you going to start paying me? There was no communication about that until about a year later when she said, 3 of them died. I can't sell them. And that's where I stopped communicating further.
Okay. All right, guys. I think without hearing anymore, honestly, we're gonna just be beating it to death. Let me get off here for just a minute. I'll look at my notes and make a decision for everybody, okay?
Thank you.
Nobody, no matter what I do, Mr. Cuba's off the hook.
Oh yeah, no.
No, he's a good friend.
I know. I'm just poor guy. He's the one I feel bad for, huh?
I don't hear about goats ever again.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I can't ever have goats anyway.
All right. Oh, hold on, everybody. I'll be here. Okay, we can go back on the record. If I can get Marty's back on there. There we go. Chance to kind of think things through for both of you, and I both of you seem like nice individuals, and honestly, the problem is both of you are kind of talking in these vague terms that just doesn't reach any definitive answer to what was going on. There's no what we call meeting of the minds between the two of you for as far as an agreement. I don't find any detrimental reliance on either side on what was being transferred. There wasn't any consideration that was actually agreed upon as far as consideration being payment or money of some. You got vague, ambiguous terms floating at best between another person who's trying to be helpful. You just got no agreement between the parties, and quite frankly, with Miss Albertson, she ended up holding the reins for these goats that were not hers, and I don't believe she did anything ill-intended either, and I don't believe that the goats were unlawfully killed or eliminated for any reason other than getting sick. Therefore, no cause of action. There's no agreement between the parties. Case is dismissed, no cause of action. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Guys, good luck to both of you. Don't beat up on Trevor.
No, I love Trevor. No, he's great. Thank you.
Both of you probably owe him dinner or something. Okay.
Definitely. Next time he's in town.
All right. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.